Welcome to Vienna, Toby Purser. It's nice to see you here. And how are you enjoying your time here so far? How do you feel about being in Vienna?
Thank you, Darrel. It's amazing to be back in Vienna. Just a month ago, I thought there was no way that we could be here making music. And here we are in the home of Western classical music, doing Mozart. So I couldn't be happier to be back.
This is great to hear. Can you tell us about your career as it developed? How did you begin in music and conducting? And I know it's probably, you have to limit it in time, but tell us about your career and how you ended up here.
Well, it's as you say, it's potentially a very long answer, but it kind of started here. When I was 18, I came here to study piano. And at the end of that year, I was even more certain that I didn't want to be a pianist, but I wanted to be a conductor. So I went back to the UK, and I really followed my conducting career after that, studying with amazing people. And so I'm very happy to be able to be back in Vienna now, actually teaching young conductors also, and mentoring them and giving them support as they develop their own careers.
Very good. Okay. And this is your second year now, okay, doing this with the Vienna Opera Academy. And do you see this as a kind of home away from home?
Vienna does feel like home. Maybe that's just because the composers I love most are the ones who were born and lived and worked here. So when I come back and walking in the steps of Mozart or Beethoven or Schubert or Mahler, whoever it is, it's such an amazing feeling. So yes, it feels like one's spiritual home. And also having studied here, of course, I love the place very much.
Very good. What are you looking to impart to the students? Okay, what do you want them to take away from this academy? And in particular, what do you want them to take away from your experience and knowledge?
I think one of the most important thing for me about any conducting is honesty. And because there are just 2 students who've been selected to take part as kind of my assistants and students during the academy, it means that we can spend a lot of time going to real depth, asking what does Mozart really mean here? What does he want? And very often you can't do that when you're teaching with lots of people, because it's very much about technique, about working out how do you show this and that. So we can go very, very deep into their understanding of the music, but then think about how do you communicate that to the singers? How do you give the orchestra what they need so that with the smallest number of words possible, that we can communicate as easily as possible what the orchestra needs to know.
Excellent, excellent. One of the highlight, I guess, of this experience this summer is performing Don Giovanni at the Mozart House. Just tell us your feelings about this.
Well, I'm hoping that Mozart won't be turning in his grave. It's the idea of being in the house that Mozart lived in, performing his music is quite mind-blowing. It's very awe-inspiring. There's a sense of responsibility. We have to do justice to Mozart's memory and make sure that what we do is something he would be proud of.
Okay, very good. I was going to ask if you found something a little bit daunting about the time here or the job here, but I think maybe you just expressed that just now about it. Would that be the most challenging thing to happen, would you say?
I think as a conductor, it's always our biggest worry is, are we going to be good enough? Are we going to be able to do justice to the composer's intentions? But when you're actually in the house where Mozart lived, then yes, it really underlines just what an important role we have in making sure that the performance is something which is honest to the composer.
Very good, that's true. Now, while we are in rather unusual times, difficult times, what will you be doing, say, in the next year before you come back again next summer to Vienna? What are your plans?
Many plans, not all of them may happen because of the situation, but so one thing which is definite is I've recently been appointed head of conducting at the Royal College of Music in London. So I have a big role in supporting young musicians, young conductors. Aside from that, I'm discussing a possible position with an opera house in Russia, but the travel restrictions mean that may be delayed or may not happen immediately. So sort of watch this space.
Okay, very good. And just finally, if you can, could you describe perhaps one embarrassing moment in your career, or let's say what are potential hazards for any musician or conducting student, something that might occur in their future?
God, that's a tricky one. I think there's always a potential hazard for any conductor that the second you stand on the podium, you're going to say the wrong thing. And so many times, you've been having a very good rehearsal, and then you just say the wrong thing. You make a bad joke, and within a second, you've lost the whole orchestra, and actually it's very difficult to get them back again. So I would say the thing I'm most worried about is misjudging the temperature in the room, misjudging the atmosphere, and as a result, you can lose the attention of the orchestra quite easily.
A very good piece of advice. Thank you very much. Toby Purser, again, have a wonderful time here this summer, and we look forward to seeing your performances.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.